Well, it's time, I think, that we kind of run through perhaps Trump's master plan. I want to thank Eric Freeberg from the All In podcast, something you know that I listen to each and every week. He pontificated that Trump's master plan has three legs, just like a stool. Leg number one, tariffs. Leg number two, reduced income taxes. And leg number three, reduced government spending. Let's dig into each of these legs individually because we can start to get a feel for the picture that President Trump is perhaps working with. Again, this is Eric Freeberg's master plan that he thinks Trump is working on. Again, number one, tariffs. This will help bring manufacturing home. Tariffs go into effect. Obviously, foreign-made products are more expensive, thus making it more cost beneficial to manufacture at home. Number two, inside leg number one of tariffs is increase supply chain security. One of the things that you've heard me talk about for the last 4 years or so is the fact that a lot of our pharmaceuticals are made by folks that, frankly, don't like us. And I see that as a big security risk. So I agree with them there. Number three, if we can bring manufacturing home, we will employ more Americans in manufacturing. Makes perfect sense. Number two, reduced importance of income tax. If via deregulation, if via reduced taxes, we can unleash capital back into the private sector, that will be good for America. Number two, underneath reduced income tax is perhaps we can pivot from an economy or a tax base that is income focused to one that is consumption focused. And that is something I have long thought about. If we can go to a consumption-based tax versus a primarily income tax, that would fundamentally change the game. And number three, again, this is all according to Eric Freeberg. Shout out the All In podcast. Reduced government spending. That's going to do several things. First and foremost, we could have folks that were in public service in the private sector. We could reduce spending, thus reduce the need for income tax. And again, right now we are having larger amounts of debt financing as a part of all of this. So again, shout out Eric Freeberg for talking about Trump's master plan. Tariffs, reduced income tax, and reduced government spending. Let me know in the comments below. On that topic, we have gotten word that the Department of Education, is going to have a layoff, perhaps starting today, with about 1,300 or so employees. Something else we've learned about tariffs, it looks like the tariffs with Mexico and Canada could potentially add to the cost of building. We've gotten more and more kind of calculation around that. The building materials might increase somewhere between $7,500 and $10,000. Ray Dalio is out talking about some very serious consequences from our growing debt. Highlights the fact that we need to go from 7.2% of GDP to below 3% and do it quickly. Else, shit hits the fan. It gets ugly and gets ugly quickly. PEMCO out talking about tariffs having an impact on the recession odds. Currently puts recession odds upwards of 35%. Just a short month ago, their odds were under 15%. So again, a noticeable uptick. Looks like Europe is starting to play the game of tit for tat. Looks like Europe has increased tariffs on $26 billion of American goods. This is, of course, because of the tariff that President Trump and his administration has put on steel and aluminum. Folks, as you know, one of the things that we do here at One Rental at a Time is we take care of the people that take care of us. And Dion, from Dion Talk Financial Freedom, actually has brought up One Rental at a Time on his Bigger Pockets interview, which I will always be appreciative for. He is also the voice behind the Audible for both of our books, One Rental at a Time and 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires. Why do I bring this up? Well, Bigger Pockets has put out a post on their YouTube channel saying, who should keynote a presentation? And folks, I'm going to ask for a favor. I never, ever, ever ask you to do anything. But please, go to the Bigger Pockets YouTube channel right now. Go to their posts, and you will see who should be a keynote speaker for Bigger Pockets. And one of those options is Dion from Dion Talk. And frankly, folks, he is the only option. So please go to that right now and do us a favor, and let's get Dion keynoting Bigger Pockets event. Folks, we will get the CPI reading in just a few short hours. In fact, when you are watching this, it will be released, but I will be asleep, so I won't know what it's like for another 8 hours. But CPI is expected to come in at 0.3% month on month for both core and headline. Headline is expected to come down to 2.9. Core is expected to come down to 3.2. Folks, inflation's a problem. If either of these numbers disappoint, and remember last month, CPI disappointed across all four measures. It was no bueno. So let's see what happens with CPI this month. We did get some earnings, and they are not good. Kohl's came out with a very rough outlook for consumers. Dick's Sporting Goods citing tariffs and sliding consumer confidence. And of course, now we're getting more and more airlines talking about domestic travel for leisure and business, and frankly, government collapsing. Does not feel like the U.S. economy is in a good spot. Goldman Sachs is saying that the Federal Reserve is going to hold rates through the summer and then give us 2 cuts by the end of the year. Jamie Dimon talking about return to office or work from home, depending on what side of the equation you're on. Jamie Dimon says the only people complaining about return to office is middle management. Yep, Jamie Dimon said it. Blame the middle managers. Small business uncertainty is at the worst since 1973. Folks, if you don't know 1973, that was a long time ago. Right now, because of tariffs in the changing landscapes, according to Chief Economist Bill Dunkelberg, small business uncertainty is the second highest since 1973, only being outdone by April of 2020. Folks, April 2020, that's not good. That's not the year you want to be comparing to. So again, confidence in the economy will continue to fade, according to Bill Dunkelberg. Again, this survey talks about 33 million small businesses. Guys, if you don't know how important small businesses are, they make up almost 50% of the workforce. So if the small business arena is disappointed, scared, uncertain, they will not hire, they will not invest, and they might fire, which is not what we need right now. We did get the JOLTS report just today, which again, most months it comes up last week. This time it came in late. The JOLTS report was a little better than expected. It was expected to be 7.51. Remember, folks, it peaked at over 10 million. This month, 7.74 million. So again, more job openings than the month prior. But here's the deal, folks. That was for January. We have heard a lot of negative news about February. It might get ugly. The job market might get ugly. So folks, again, do me a favor. Go to Bigger Pockets YouTube channel right now. Let's vote for our boy Dion from Dion Talk Financial Freedom. Let's get a guy who has done more for this channel than almost anyone else. Again, he is the voice behind the audible versions of both my books. Both One Rental at a Time and 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires on Audible is Dion. And we owe him a lot for that. Folks, I hope you have an amazing day. Again, join the school community, help Dion in Bigger Pockets, and of course, just have a good day. Later.